Oh yeah. Are we talking about losing control? I'm gonna show you how we lose control, baby. Watch this. Look, Marty Mark. Watch the way I start up. I've been going hard, but I can go way harder. Every beat I'm on, yeah, you know that I slaughter. And I'm always looking gorgeous, chilling with somebody's daughter. Yeah, she loving me. Say she love the way my chain sit and contemplate. And of course it says my name if you wondering. To let you know who's finna blow. Always winning, check the scope. I'm only losing control. Oh,
I like losing control. I get high when I'm feeling a flow. My mind is focused and I'm ready to go. Ready to go. Nah, nah.
always winning, check the scope. I'm only losing control. Oh.
I like losing control. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. Colors all around, but I don't see anything but blue. Get lost in the sound, go back to the start. Let's go out of the dark. Let's go out of the dark. Get into the light now. When I see you dancing, I'm like, hola, 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 hola. With your move fancy, make me wanna hola, 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 hola. I got your attention, spending that moolah, 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 moolah. I'm a drop top in pocket, swola, 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 swola. Swola, 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 swola. Swola, swola, swola.
Not.
Okay, I'll tap.
Dude, these guys are so fucking trash, man. What the fuck? I don't think it's the trees.
And
Alright.
hello everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Ghosty. And
I'm
here,
Henry.
join with me, Henry, Hong,
I'm Smokesh
And-
King.
Smoke's King, Lego, and join with us, special guest is
That's right.
DJ and Ruee.
That's right. Today we'll be cracking into the skull of arguably the most or one of the most notorious players in Asia. And we'll see what's going on under that noggin. So, TJ.
What's up? Happy to be here. I don't want you to like crack into my noggin though. My brain's kind of, my
It's
intellectual
a-
property.
Yeah, it's a meta. Yeah, you'll get it. So, no need for introductions. Actually, a brief introduction I think is fine. So, in recent times, I think you're regarded as one of the most notorious and impactful TF2 players in terms of your personal branding, reputation, and like you can see that there were a lot of factors that contributed to that journey. So, I have a very simple question to start off the podcast.
All right, hit me.
So, what was the story of what was the story that led you to installing TF2 in the first place, the very first game you played?
Dude, if I tell you guys this story, it's actually gonna be mega cringe. Okay. So back when I was like 11 years old, right? I used to watch some YouTube, right? And back in the day, I used to watch a lot of Minecraft playthroughs and stuff like that. And one day, I just happened to stumble across, the legendary TF2 YouTuber, Shibi2142.
Oh shit!
Dude, that guy is goated, man. I don't know what he's up to now, but he's goated. And after I watched, his videos, and he was like a soldier main back then, I was like, damn, I actually really want to play this game. And like on my 11th birthday or like 12th birthday rather, I got my dad to buy me TF2, and
That was around the time TF2. That was before TF2 went free to play. Am I right?
yeah, it was actually like just a few months before. So like, if I just waited a few more months, I would have gotten TF2 for free, man. But unfortunately,
That's
I didn't
true.
get it for free.
Well, I'd say it was a decent investment if there were price pots in this region.
Yeah, I guess since there are no prize spots in this region, it was kind of a big waste of time. But time that you enjoy wasting is not time that isn't being wasted.
Yes. So, going into your career at a more in-depth level, TJ, you've been amassing championships left and right ever since I think AFC Season 9, and you've even dabbled in AsiaFortress. Yeah. For like I think from a Midsummer Cup 2 or like AsiaFortress 15.
Like when I started,
Yeah.
I started way back in All Sortress 15,
way back.
and now
So-
it's like about almost All Sortress 30. So like I don't know, right in the middle.
Yeah. So really cemented your place in both regions, and I think not many players can really achieve that sort of status as a dual region player. So, regarding the past, I'm sure you have heard of the term OTJ.
Ah, yes, old TJ, which I also like to call good TJ.
I guess, but OTJ was sort of a enigmatic player, I would say. So I think we can delve deeper to that. I think OTJ, it's like telling a fairy tale, honestly, to put it more bluntly.
Not really a fairy tale. It's more of like one of those children's stories, like the Boogeyman.
The boogie.
Only seen glimpses.
Old TJ was basically the Boogeyman. Let's just put it that way.
I guess the primary, I think, aim for this question is what made OTJ? What environment? What players made the OTJ that we could not see now as they have quit? Possibly.
That's a very good question. So actually, since a lot of the player base now, they've only been playing for like maybe 4 years, 5 years. But actually prior to like 2014, being toxic was kind of like the default state, right? Everyone is kind of, toxic to some extent. And, when I started playing, or when I first started playing, I basically went through like the exact same thing that a lot of players went through. I played Pugs, and back then, like people were just always toxic, right? And I would just get rage at all the time for like a solid like 2 months, 3 months, until I started like getting good, right? And after that, people started to notice me, and they were like, "Oh, okay, this guy's actually pretty good." And that's when I started to get noticed here and there. And eventually, just like a few months after I started playing Pugs, I got picked up on my first Div 1 team. But again, I would like to reiterate, everyone back then was toxic. That was just like the default state, right?
norm.
Everyone was just toxic.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, as I wasn't there, I'm not sure if it was like a vicious cycle thing where you are being treated as toxic, so you treat other people with the same level of toxicity. But yeah, it's definitely the story of starting out as like from zero. It's definitely like relatable for everyone in this call.
I met like he's the first one who fucking kicked me. Like I remember the first time I played Perk, I saw him in Perk. Who's this DJ? like it was when I played so bad on Scout on Badland. You were like told me like I'm not talking much, so then like you decided to kick me because I'm not that good. And then dude, like
I guess that was
shit.
the OTJ.
That was
that's
not just
old-
the old TJ though. That was the old community. Like in the event you weren't playing up to everyone's standards, like vote kicking was actually very common.
You just got booted. Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
collective.
I can agree here, dude. When I started playing, like I joined in late 2015, and like basically what like the common consensus among like all the new players was that everyone above Div 2 were toxic. Like, cause it was just normal. If you you can't go to a park and expect not to be flamed by a better player.
Yeah.
It will happen.
If
Like
you
in
wanted to-
2015, early 2016.
I mean,
you
this is
wanted to improve,
speculation.
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
speculation, but I think it's the level of toxicity. Like some were just toxic just because they were just frustrated with losing. It can really be traced back to you being passionate to the game. But
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's something else that I would like to touch on.
that's right.
Back in like 2012, 2013, 2014, back then TF2 was still considered a game that was alive, in quotation brackets. It was alive, right, at some point. And that was when people were actually like really motivated to actually play the game and get good at it and actually like try their hardest like literally all the time. And I think that was like one of the few things that kind of led to everyone kind of being toxic just because everyone was just trying the hardest. So, and back then, people have yet to discover the fact that, by not being toxic, you could actually improve your team's morale, which could actually help you in the long run. People hadn't noticed that yet.
True.
The teams would just stick together, like nowadays more than they would back
It's
then.
like glue.
I guess.
Yeah.
Teams
I mean,
stick together
remnants of the
nowadays.
toxicity still remains to this day.
Some of them actually.
You know.
Yeah, I think I still see some of them.
Yeah,
Some
my
of
boy
them.
Sir 9.
Not gonna drop any names.
I think now it's like kind of different though. Like
Yeah.
compared to like back then when it was just like straight up mouthing, right?
Yeah, I
Now
think-
it's a bit more passive aggressive.
Yeah, it's more like funny kind of toxism. Where
Small.
Yeah, true.
they
it's
kind of see
also-
it as a joke.
Yeah, but there's always some truth to it. But yeah, I guess nowadays people are just a bit more, a bit more relaxed about the game. They don't really want to improve that much. But because of that clash in mindset, right, where some people they really want to improve and some people kind of just want to chill out and vibe out. There's kind of like an issue there, and some people might like rage at other people for playing the game
For troll.
or having a different mindset.
Definitely.
Yeah, trolling or just I don't know, not playing to improve. I guess.
I think that's one of the main driving forces for segregation in pubs. It's like segregation and sucker joking in general.
Yeah, which is not good for the community.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's just a game, and we're just playing the game. So
I guess like that's like a different take though. Like if you like TF2 as a game, right? But you don't really want to play competitively. So why would you come
it's
and
a more
play
casual take.
yeah, competitive sixes? Like why wouldn't you just go play casual, right? So yeah, it's like there's like an argument to be made there, right? Like why would people come play sixes if they just want to throw?
True. Okay. So a bit off topic here, but TJ, can you introduce us about your background, like your nationality, and how your studies went through when you were going through this phase of playing competitive TF2? Did it impact your real life, and how do you manage to juggle between your life and studies? I think this is an aspect many players struggle with.
I think that's a lot of people did struggle with that, and I myself struggled with that as well. Like when I first started playing TF2, I basically dedicated like 80% of my time to TF2, right? I didn't really study that much. But I guess that's like a phase that everyone goes through, right? When you're like 13,
definitely.
14, 15
Yeah.
years old, you basically have like you don't really have a single care in the world. You can pretty much do whatever you want because you're like at that age where your parents they're going to give you a bit more freedom, and because of that freedom you start to like meet new friends, meet people with like different mindsets, and meet gamers who just want to game.
In fact, Lego, who is in this podcast today, she is one of my best friends, which I met through retarded China Punks. Really like to thank China Punks for that.
Hey,
Going strong, but a bit off topics.
But yeah, so even though I did spend a lot of time playing games, and to this day I still play quite a bit of TF2, but definitely not as much as I did before. But when you're younger and stuff, you don't really have as many commitments. And as you get older, I eventually have to spend more time studying, spend more time working on myself, and actually trying to be an actual human being. But everything kind of worked out in the end. I would say I'm doing pretty well for myself right now, and I'm still playing TF2. So I've definitely been able to like strike a balance, a very delicate balance, and yeah, everything's been working out.
All right.
Not sure if that answered your question, but I can elaborate more if you want me to.
I mean, I guess we can save it for another day. Like,
Oh yeah, and you did ask for my nationality, right? So just so that everyone knows, I am Malaysian. I am not Singaporean, even though a lot of people think I am because Malaysia and Singapore, pretty much the same country. And I am Chindian, so that would mean I'm Indian and Chinese, and I'm mixed. Yeah,
that's the secret.
that's the secret to my power.
that's the secret.
Yeah, everybody.
All right.
Hmm? Sorry.
I can see that most of our viewer base is actually of Indian and Pakistani instead.
Wait, is that true?
We have Pakistanis in chat. So,
I think so.
nice.
Yeah.
Critics.
For any Indians and Chindians in the chat, stay tuned. We have a special announcement in the end for you guys. So
Very special. You like
very
it. You
special,
love
dude.
it. Alright, so
So,
Going back to the pugs, I think you could also argue that like how toxic these like pugs used to be, but they also produce some of like the best players that Asia Fortress has now because of like
Yeah.
the toxicity. It like filtered out like the people who like really wanted to get good, and then from like the just like the casual sixes players, you know.
Yeah, it was a great filter, you could say.
definitely do.
I mean, you could say that's a filter, but I feel like back then people were more like tolerant towards being flamed at, because they genuinely wanted to improve. You know?
Yeah, the modern day solution I think to this was novice pugs, if I recall.
No, I mean, yeah, it was.
That's not really a solution,
but
though.
it
That's
kind of
a
just
band-aid.
fucked us a bit more.
It's a
Yeah.
quick fix.
Like, I don't know if you noticed, but like I guess last player spike he had in Div 3 was like AFC 10, where like you look at all the Div 3s in AFC 10, a lot of them are Div 1s now. But you look at AFC 11, AFC 12, AFC 13, all the Div 3s, only maybe like 1 or 2 of them have like become good enough to play Div 1. That's a fact that I noticed.
Yeah, definitely is some. Not sure if there's correlation to the amount of players in that division or just like the attitude in general. Yeah, that is in the effect.
First year. You know what I mean? Like, really hard to like going around.
Actually help the community more.
Yeah, we actually
honestly.
saw some old players
People
return.
were home
Really?
more.
It's not really that helpful. This type of family, you know, strict family.
Having your dad over, you can't scream at the pug rats all the time.
Yeah. And someone like Div 3, they don't know this because like we keep making a pub on random community instead of like peer. Because like peer and AsiaFortress are like the central of the pub. No one announcing them for them to play on. Like they thought like there's not as even like single perk going all around, you know?
I guess that's like partly attributed to the fact that people kind of just want to play pugs to like relax and just to have fun. But for some reason, people associate the name Pure and Asia Fortress with completely serious pugs, right? Where people just like rage at you all the time. But I do think that's not the case, not anymore at least. Back then, yeah, for sure. But that's also like 6 years ago, right? And things are like very different now compared to what they were before. And I just think that people shouldn't be afraid of playing these high level pugs because honestly, like players that are in Div 1 or even like high Div 2 players, we appreciate the fact that we see new faces, right? Like I would like to name drop someone here. I'm not sure if he's in chat or whatever, but I would like to name drop Job, Lil Job. Hey.
Malaysians in the chat.
Any Malaysians in the chat, raise your dongers, dude. Raise your dongers. But yeah, like when I play with Job, he has like that same energy that I had back in the day. Like he has like the motivation to actually like scream at people and pugs, which I experienced firsthand yesterday. And I don't know, it just made me think of young TJ.
There's any fellow players out there. It's not I guess we're just very silent on this. Yeah. It's very appreciative of the community in general. I think that's the attitude that can be passed around. So anyways, a bit off topic again.
Just a bit, not too
Dude,
much.
going off topic, it's like the
No,
best
as
part.
in going back to the main topic, sorry.
Alright.
Getting a bit boring again. But TJ, at some point, you claimed to be the number one player in Asia for quite a period. So during this period, were there any socio-economic impacts you've experienced? Maybe relating to your personal branding, how it grew exponentially, how that branding made you even more well known. It's like
So I would just like to say that I never really tried to grow my brand per se. I kind of just like let it grow organically, right? Just by, doing what I like to do, which is playing pugs, playing TF2, and just being like that person in pugs who just tries to like win, or like just tries to play just because like the way I have fun is by winning, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of like how I grew my brand, if I could even call it a brand in the first place. And as for any socioeconomic effects, I would like to say that I've earned a total of $5 from playing TF2 for the past
Let's
how many years?
It's
Eight
right
years?
there.
Let's go.
I've earned $5, you guys. TF2 has a lot of money in it, and I suggest everyone get into it. Honestly, there's so much money in TF2.
It's right there. You can check it on his
Oh.
Wikipedia page.
Oh yeah. I guess the money we made was the friends we made along the way. I mean, that's my
Honestly,
perspective.
yeah. I guess okay. I'm gonna go off topic again,
Okay.
but throughout like the entire time I've been playing TF2, right, I've actually grown as a person, right? And because like in real life, I didn't really have a friend group. I wasn't really very sociable back in the day. So TF2 kind of provided me that outlet, right? So I had an outlet to express my competitiveness, an outlet to actually get more friends, which I think I've gathered a lot of in the past few years. And I've also learned a lot of other things that are kind of applicable to
Real
looking for a
life,
job.
Like
Yeah,
leadership skills, right?
exactly. Actually, okay, wait. So just want to let everyone know, I actually put down. I played as like I competed as a semi-professional TF2 and
Ooh.
Overwatch player in my resume, and I sent that out to people. And in the event they did ask me about that during the interview or whatever, I would just be like, so when I played TF2 and Overwatch, I learned how to work in a team, because that's basically what TF2 and Overwatch is, right? It's a team-based first-person shooter. I've also
That's
learned
right.
time management. I've learned leadership skills, and there's just like a whole bunch of other skills that I would not have been able to learn without TF2. So even though yes, I did spend a lot of time playing TF2, but because of how I approached TF2, I think I got quite a lot out of it as well, contrary to popular belief.
That's definitely right. As some people like your example is like, I think an exception. Is like most people, they see TF2 as like an expense, right? A
Yeah.
liability. So I think your example is a really good, really notable. If like people are looking to transform their hobbies into something even more.
Yeah, something tangible, like
Yeah,
what Bani has done.
definitely. So during your time as like this notorious player, or like your rising the notoriety, I guess,
Sure, if you want to call it that.
was it different? Like when you're playing punks, did people treat you differently? Did they exempt you from
I
like,
guess
medic ops? Did they have special privileges?
no, I did not get any special treatment in that sense, but I guess I did get treated differently. So in pugs, people will always be like scared of me, right? Which I honestly really get. If I were to look back at my past self from like 2014, 2015, I would honestly be scared of myself as well. But having said that, I do think that, I'm kind of different now. So I don't think people should treat me differently. I'm just like any other bro, you know what I mean? But I guess the only difference would be just how I approach the game, where if I'm going to do something, and this applies to anything in my life, right? If I'm going to do anything, I want to make sure that I give it my 100%.
That's
So this applies to TF2. It applies to my studies. It applies to whatever future job that I will have. I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to decide to do something, I put my entire heart into it. And that's why people find me toxic, or people find me, very passionate.
that's right.
Yeah.
There's some contrast that could be made to certain North American players as well. But I will save that for another day. Yeah, but yeah, your attitude is definitely misunderstood, I feel, when you play in the past. But
Yeah.
that's
I don't know,
also like one issue I think that's exposed is, it's not really an issue, but it's a phenomenon where people treat one another, not based on their person, but based on how good you are in the game. It's a very hierarchical system. It was quite the phenomenon. It was really something else. I mean, it's still present today, but it's not as prevalent. I think you get banned or something. There's even like pub groups, I think, which are
In houses,
they just
There's a lot
don't
of
judge
it,
based
yes.
on your credibility as a player. They treat you like, I think the team is equality.
Yeah, equality for all divisions,
Yeah. So
which honestly I'm in agreement with. But I do have to add like another condition, right? I am for the equality of every single division, but if you're going to play like high level pugs and stuff like that, right? It's always important that you at least try not to throw. It's okay if you're having fun, and it's okay if you're not like trying super hard, right? Because no one wants to try super hard all the time. But it's important to not throw, because that kind of like ruins the game for like 11 other people,
yeah.
or maybe like 10 or 9, depending on how many other people are throwing, right? I feel like that's like a very important line that people have to start to, watch out for.
Yeah, there's a line you draw, I guess. So
Yeah, that's kind of.
I guess that's a good part of your career covered. Before we hop into like recent events, at some point, if I recall, TJ, you were acknowledged as the head admin of AsiaFortress.
Ah, yes, that was a very unfun time.
Yes, so I actually remember messaging you for some preseason questions or like some main season questions. So was it the administration skills? My question is, did you get any useful application out of the administration skills? Would you encourage other people to step up to help with this community management work?
Okay, so when I was so at first I was just a regular league administrator, right? So I handled Div 1. That's what I first did. Then after Calderon decided to step down, then I took over as head administrator. And throughout like my entire time, I was also helping out with like various other smaller events. So that would be like stuff like, AsiaFortress mashed potatoes, which is where, we would get like 2 experienced players and like 4 new players to like play sixes so they can introduce the game to them.
So that's kind of the beginning.
I still remember that time I was in there.
I think a lot of people have a lot of good memories from
Yeah.
AsiaFortress
No,
mashed potatoes.
DJ, you remember you put me in with fucking Scott and Nova.
Dude, that must have been an epic team. Let's be real here. That team was goated.
Yeah.
It would have, but we end up second place, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, see, told you it was goated, man. Telling you.
Oh my god. But to
But
be
yeah,
honest,
sure.
like those two, like were the funniest duo I have ever
I
seen.
agree.
Oh shit.
Scott's still that, super funny person. So yeah. But back to the topic, right?
That's right.
So throughout like entire career, I've organized certain things here and there. I've provided my input on a lot of things, and I feel like the main thing that I managed to get from actually adminning AsiaFortress was being able to see both sides of the coin.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
So I see that in the sense that when I was head administrator, right, I had to separate what I thought as a player, right? Like,
And
for
what's good
example,
for the
I
league.
think, yeah, and what's good for the league and the overall growth of TF2. So I did do that during, my first few months of being a head administrator, right? And as time grew on, as time, progressed, it's honestly a very tiring job because you have to listen to so many complaints and
It's
there's just-
voluntary.
yeah, and it's voluntary. You don't really get much out of it. And people are never happy with what you end up doing because you can never please everyone, right? And at the same time, even though you can't please everyone, you still have to make sure that the league grows. You have to make sure that Div 1 stays alive, which is an issue that is still present today, where we just can't have more than 4 teams in Div 1 for some reason. Well, I mean, I know the reason, but let's not go into that yet. So yeah, throughout my entire career, I think that's the main thing that I managed to get. So it's kind of like what a politician does, in a sense, where you have to think about what's good for your community, but you also have to think about what's best for the entire nation. So I say that in the sense that so your community, they might need extra supplies. They may need they may need medical care and stuff like that. But for like the growth of like your entire country, you might need to put more money into investing into certain industries. So there's always like a middle line that you have to draw, and that's why no one is ever happy with politicians either. And I see AsiaFortress administrators as the same. They're kind of like politicians, and I honestly admire every single person that has stepped up to become an AsiaFortress administrator, because I know that it's an extremely tiring task. And how Fushi has done it for like how many years? It's been like 3 years.
I would
3 years.
say like 5, or it could be 5 really, because he's
He's
managing
been an
UTC
administrator
too.
for a very long time.
He has been
And-
planting the same stuff to me as everything you mentioned. Like, every
Exactly.
exact problem.
It's something that
Everyone
AsiaFortress can't escape. It's just something that's going to be there forever. So yeah, but what you do get out of it is number one, as a person, you do actually grow with the league. So when I was administrator, I honestly learned so much, and it really did help me grow as a person. So I think you do get that out of being an administrator. And if you're willing to help out the community, and if you're willing to help AsiaFortress grow and whatever, you should definitely look into being an administrator, because I'm pretty sure AsiaFortress will appreciate the help.
Definitely. So we have Ruee in the chat dropping a date.
Yeah.
A little bit of intervention, but I will be noting that down for future
Yeah,
references.
get excited for that day, dude.
Yeah, something
very
big's
excited.
gonna happen.
That's when the sign-ups will open. The season will actually start on Monday.
That was a bit off topic, I guess. AsiaFortress really was an introduction to politics in a way for many players, I'd say.
Yeah, weirdly enough, it was.
Early enough, yeah. But one more question, TJ. When you're playing with players, you play with the likes of iShow26 in recent times, so can I know who is your favorite teammate of all time?
Oh,
You can also include AsiaFortress.
Dude, they
You
they're gonna
can't
watch.
hit me with this question, man.
Alright, I'll rephrase it. Who was your favorite teammate in terms of personality?
In terms of personality, let me think. Honestly, I did not prepare for this question, but I should have. I think everyone kind of brings their own thing to the table. So, for example, one thing that I really like about Aisho is that I think me and him, we see eye to eye on a lot of things. And even the way we like actually play the game is actually quite similar, I would say. So I guess like Aisho's always there, because me and him, we always kind of have the same approach to things. So that's Aisho. Now the thing about 26 is that he's willing to do like anything that the team needs him to do, right? And that's why you see him get like, I don't know, like let's just say he drops like 150 DPM sometimes. So that's 26, and I admire him for that. He's just a very team player, right? He's not selfish at all. I think it would take too long for me to go through every single person. But
Yeah.
since you name drop, since you name drop 26 and Aisho,
name drop, yeah.
But I do have to say that I think the favorite person I've played with so far is probably Banana, which is a spicy take. Because, okay, I just want to say this one thing. If you play Pugs with Banana, he's terrible. I never want to play Pugs with Banana. Actually, like, I don't know, F tier kind of player.
I can imagine that.
But if you actually play with him on a team, he actually does have that like attitude to improve. Or at least he used to have that back when I played with him on Swift and on
Describe
TCF.
him as a hardcore grinder of sorts.
Yeah, he's definitely a hardcore grinder, but only when he actually has his heart in it. And the thing about Banana is that he puts his heart into something for a very brief amount of time. So maybe he does it for like 2 months, 3 months, and he really does, just grind. But after that, he gets burnt out, which I think is one of his biggest issues. It's the fact that he does get very tired after a while, and he just, withdraws from the community after that. But I think other than that, Banana's probably my favorite teammate, just because of the fact that he is, number one, he is very funny. Number two, when you actually play with him on a team in matches and stuff, he actually does give the team the hype, which sometimes I'm not able to provide. And number 3, he's just a huge grinder.
Grinder is definitely something that would be helpful outside of TF2 if you have like really diligent aptitude.
I feel kind of bad that I didn't really touch on any AsiaFortress players, but I think the thing about AsiaFortress players is that I've enjoyed playing with like every single one of them, right? So I can't really pick, one person in particular. But I guess for like AsiaFortress, but I guess for AsiaFortress, I've played with some people that I didn't really like playing with. So I guess for AsiaFortress, it's like easier for me to pick like a few people who I really like playing with. But I do want to say that there are a lot of other people who I like playing with, but due to time constraints, I just can't talk about everyone.
Yeah. Yes. But brief mention, it's a bit of a side note. TJ, are you into K-pop by any chance? So
Dude, there's no way that this question goes well. If I say no, like I can imagine all like the BTS fans coming to, like, attack me on Twitter. Yeah.
Like the whole BTS gonna come to your house like, yo DJ, why are you doing this?
Dude, it's not a good. Okay, but I do want to say that I actually don't listen to much K-pop, but I used to listen to some K-pop back in the day.
When you
but
used
I
to,
don't anymore.
there's a
When I used
pattern.
to?
When you used to,
Dude, same here.
the two of your teammates, Konma and Banana, which I recall were very into K-pop. I personally believe when they were hardcore K-pop stans that they were playing at their peak. So I am starting to recently listen to K-pop as well. See if anything changes. But yeah,
You're going down a dangerous path. That's all I can say.
for the pursuit of power, my friend.
Dude, then what do you think about like the weeb theory?
It's
Hey, DJ,
Well, I don't think the weeb theory is real in TF2.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I think the more weeb you are in TF2, the shittier you are. It only works for
has something to
K-pop.
do with your state of mind.
Dude, I remember in like NA there was like a rule where if you have like 2 weebs on the same team, that team's gonna die next season.
Maya Nibilis.
Yes, I mean that's. I guess you can go into like your recent career. So there was some really notable seasons that you've played in, like such as AFC. If I recall, AFC 15.
15,
Yeah.
the only season where Xiao actually had like decent competition. There are like 3 teams that could have like contested them at that point, or like
Yeah.
2 if you.
That season, there has to be like a backstory to your team's formation. I think Swift Asia.
Yes, Swift Asia.
Start from the end of LAN onwards.
Okay, so at the end of LAN, what happened was TCF happened to have an open slot on Scout. And they had an open slot because Killer was gonna go over to Australia to study. So they asked me to play, right? And actually how that happened was Banana at LAN, right? At AF LAN, he sat right in front of my computer and he put his arm over my monitor. And he would not move until I said yes to joining TCF. So just imagine you have someone who is like 182 centimeters or 178 centimeters. I forgot how tall he is, but he's much taller than me because I am a measly 169 centimeters tall. And yes, I am very short. Don't talk about it. So yeah, he was just like right in front of me, and he would not leave until I said yes. And he left me no choice. I had to join TCF, which honestly wasn't really that good of an idea. Because when I did end up joining TCF, I didn't really like the way they played because
It was very Nazi centric.
yes, it was very Nazi centric, and whichever team I end up joining, it always becomes TJ centric, right? So having that like clash of players, it didn't really work out too well because I have a very different approach to how I want to play the game. I like playing very like fast-paced, aggressive TF2 when I can, and when the situation calls for it, right? And Nasty kind of just wants to wait for that perfect play, that perfect opportunity, and it slows down the game a lot. And I do really like that. So there was a lot of counter calling, and there was just like a lot of conflict for quite a long time. And after that, I decided enough is enough. I decided to take the best parts of TCF, and that would be Smiley, that would be Itachi, that would be Banana, right? And we elected to drop Slayer and Nasi because of, mainly it was because of personality clashes and how I wanted to play the game differently. And, at the time, Banana, Smiley, and Itachi, they all wanted to, try to beat Xiao, right?
Yeah.
So that's how Swift Asia happened. So basically, Swift Asia became Xiao Black because all the people who were on Swift Asia played with Xiao at some point. So we had Fushi, who played with Xiao at LAN. We had me, who played with Xiao back in the day in AFC 11, which I lost to Redacted. And no, let's not talk about that. And we had Itachi, we had Smiley, and we had myself and Banana, and we were missing a medic. So guess what? We decided to get the medic that Xiao cut. Maurice, I knew.
Oh, what a king!
AKA Hyman Slayer.
Maurice,
He's playing in EU right now.
Yeah. So yeah, we played with that roster for a while, and
Even with
it
all
went-
the conflicts, yeah, still managed to finish with a second place placement. It's pretty notable.
Yeah, and I think if we were to have a stable roster throughout the entire season, I think there was a chance that it could have been closer. But unfortunately, things didn't go as planned, and we only got second. But I think that was still a pretty good season because that was the closest season that AsiaFortress has had in a very long time.
The competition was what really mattered. Yeah. So
Yeah, TJ, someone have a good player in mind. Brian. Ooh.
Oh, Ryan, right. So we got Ryan to step in for Itachi because Itachi was busy with NS and he had to go do his own thing, which was fine, And I think at some point Smiley also had to focus on his studies and stuff. But Smiley, he always comes back eventually.
I wish.
he's like Sasuke after he left the Leaf Village right now, dude. He's like MIA.
He might be gone for good this time. He
Nah,
might not come back.
he's training, man. He's trying to be.
He's training under Orochimaru.
Yeah.
Dude, if you took the blow Smiley took, I don't think
Yeah.
any of us will come back.
We'll talk about
okay,
that in
actually,
another episode.
okay, wait. I do want to say Smiley did take a huge blow, but I took an equally as huge blow.
Who did you lose to?
I lost to Redacted, dude.
Oh.
True. Yeah, but
The
Smiley
fact
lost.
that it's redacted is enough to
Well, you gotta
signify the
understand. Smiley, it happened to Smiley twice in a row. You just happened once. Yours happened only one time.
Yeah, but mine was more demeaning.
I disagree. with
Smiley.
that.
Redacted got 30 frags on pocket against Smiley.
Alright, without naming anyone, I think that season was fairly entertaining and very close. Definitely a season noteworthy in your career.
Both of Smiley's losses were way too painful. Way too painful.
Yes.
But at least he won LAN.
Yeah, at least he won LAN.
Yeah. A bit. Yeah. I mean, a bit off topic, but I think most of the problems we've mentioned, people having different mindsets, I think it's based on the philosophies that when they play the game, right? Have you seen any difference from players then and players now in terms of their approach to the game, their practices, when they want to play competitively? Do you think there's anything different from players then and players now on their mindset?
I think there's something interesting going on in AsiaFortress or Pure League or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, right now.
Okay, so back in the day, right? Div 1, Div 2, and Div 3, they all used to try equally as hard, right? And people were really trying to actually get really good at the game. And back then, everyone was playing to get good. No one was really. I mean, it was fun, but the main focus was actually just getting good at the game. But now, I think in Div 1, for some reason, I feel like people are playing more for fun. And it could be because people have, decided that second place is what people are fighting for, right? But I don't think that's the case anymore because I honestly think Xiao is probably in its most beatable state right now. So so that's what I'll say about Div 1. Now, I want to say that I feel like people in like Div 2 and Div 3, they try so much harder than the people in Div 1. Is that weird?
No,
No,
no.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually,
It's like
I
the
don't know.
Kingsman
I mean-
Club, right? Or like the Novice Gang was.
Yeah, okay, wait. Okay, I should rephrase it. People in Div 1, they're still trying. People in Div 2, they're not trying. But people in Div 3, they're trying super hard. And it's so weird. Like, when I play with like people who like just moved up from Div 3 to Div 2, like for example, I'm going to name drop someone again. Job.
Yeah, it's that.
It's just that one example of a super tryhard.
No, but like there's
devil
also teams
amongst-
like Flam's team back in the day where like they got me, Aishu, and Banana to mentor them. And they were like trying throughout the entire season.
It's definitely notable.
And like now they're playing like Div 2. Like I know Fanny is playing Div 2 now, right? And there's also people like Clashy.
Tissue Man.
Yeah, Tissue Man as well. Who is, I don't know, he's nuts. I watched that one game of him and he was pretty nuts.
Oh yeah,
But-
I want to like speak for the Spud. He managed to get from Div 3 to Div 2. That's just incredible.
Yeah, there are like so many people who are like trying Div 3 and Div 2. Oh, well, Vadim more like Div 3. And like maybe like mid to low Div 2, right?
The up and comers of Div 2, basically.
Yeah, but I noticed that like the people who are at the top of Div 2, they don't want to play Div 1.
They're just playing for the medal,
Yeah.
basically. They just
Yeah.
Because like they
So I guess
won
that's the-
for the medal, and plus like Shao is currently at the top of Asia, and it's like Froyo that like Froyo.
yeah.
People don't want to like fight against Shao because like they know they're gonna get the 05.
Yeah, it's a
Because like
Problem.
they never tried, they haven't tried yet. If they try, they might be able to beat Shao and become the top of Asia.
I honestly agree with that. Like what Ghosty said was completely true. If people like tried, which I know people are trying now, I know that people are trying hard, and I think like right now is probably like the best time to beat Xiao, because number one, we have like roster issues. Like not a lot of people can play consistently. Number two, I'm playing medic and I'm not playing a combat class, and yeah, so I think like that's like now that was like prime time, you know.
yeah, definitely. I guess you have proved me wrong. I guess like what you've described really was the other side of the coin. In a way. But speaking about trying hard, people put in a lot of effort and it's noticeable. But is there any areas you advise on, like specifically improving for like the fastest guaranteed improvement? Basically, any advice?
Okay, my advice to anyone who actually wants to get good at the game is number one, don't be afraid to play pugs with people who are better than you, because that's like the only way you can improve, or like that's the fastest way to improving, because that's exactly what I did when I first started. When I literally just started and I started getting noticed, like some different players that asked me to play in like mixes against like Japanese and Korean teams, and I honestly sucked so much shit, man. I was so bad. But that's like the fastest way to improving, right? That's number one.
Yeah, it's the acknowledgement.
One thing you can do is you can make the mixes yourself. So
So you
Like-
guarantee the spot.
yeah,
True.
you can play whatever you want, and you can pick who you want in the mix.
And you have the
Exactly.
deciding power who you
Yeah.
want to play.
But at least like still like people in Div 3 they need to like know or like people new to the game, they need to like experience loss so they know how to like fix it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like actually losing at the game is honestly the best way to actually learn about the game.
That's right. You have to take
And-
that.
You have to take the L, exactly. And I do actually want to touch on one more thing when it comes to losing. I find like there's this like there's like this very common narrative in like AsiaFortress, right, where for some reason people always like to pinpoint their losses on certain issues. And when I hear these things, like for example, when I watch like streams of like Div 2 or Div 3 players, when I watch it, right, I notice that they always seem to focus on very, very insignificant issues, right? And basically they spend the entire time arguing about that small issue when number one, it's not that important, and number two, it wasn't their like win condition for the fight in the first place. So I think like two ways that you guys can improve is number one, play pugs with people who are better than you, and number two is when you actually play the game, the best way to actually know why you lost the fight is before you actually start pushing or something, you have to identify your win condition. So I'll go into this like very briefly. But for example, right, like let's say if their med is pushing second, right, and their med has like full ad, and you have 6 up. So what's their win condition at that point? Their win condition is to take second for free and use that Uber on last. And what's your win condition? Your win condition is you have to force the medic on second so that they can't use that Uber into last. That's their win condition. So if you were to think of these two win conditions, their win condition and your win condition, that's the best way to actually call in TF2. And that's the best way to actually identify the main reason why your team lost a push or a round.
Preach again. So thanks for the brief lecture. I'm sure that will be helpful for a lot of players. Actually, gave me some perspective as well. I'm sure for some players.
But yeah, like,
So,
one thing I want to like mention too, like some other people, like you know, like how people like me, like I want to teach other people know about the game, but then like some people just keep saying like, oh, this guy just fucking shouting at them. I want to like teach them, but they don't want to listen. If you don't want to listen, no, this is a fact too. Like,
Okay, Ghosty.
people like
This is a you kind of problem, bro.
no, it's
Wait,
not.
wait,
No,
Ghosty,
no, no, no,
wait.
no. No, it's I'm telling them like the problem there, but then like they still don't want to listen. That's a hard part about like leading them to victory. You know, if they don't want to listen, it's really hard to like work as
That's
a
right,
team.
Ghosty. Yeah, screw these players, man. You want to lead them to victory and they just take you for granted, man. Dude, can't stand these folks. Can't stand them, man. Honestly.
But still, like the TF2 is more like a team basics game. Like you need to understand the teammate.
Yeah.
Ghosty, do people make fun of you for your accent still nowadays? Do people still do that?
That's still the thing, yes. Because I'm a fucking Vietnamese, yeah.
Okay, wait. Ghosty, before you continue on with that, right, I just want to say, I don't think people have issues with your accent. I just think that sometimes you talk too fast. Is that a thing, or is that just me?
I
don't
think
know.
it's pronunciation and a
Maybe
matter of your
because
talking speed.
Yeah, because
Bit
like
off
people a lot of like keep making fun of like my pronunciation is really bad and fast.
I don't think
too.
it's your... Because like when I talk to you and stuff, I can understand you. Like I don't have any issues understanding you. I think the only issue I have is that sometimes you talk too fast. Like to me at least. So maybe you can try like slowing down what you're saying, and maybe then people will start to listen to you more or something like that. I don't know. But that's just like my personal experience.
Yeah.
I think like when I like get angry and stuff, I think like that's when I speak really fast.
Yeah, but I guess like you can't help it though. Like I understand that, you know, when you speak Vietnamese, you have to talk fast because that's just how the language works, right? And when you go from like speaking Vietnamese to English, I know it's very hard because I as a person, I speak like 3 languages, right? So I know it's like very difficult, but at the same time, you have to remember that, you know, no language is like any other language. You have to like slow things down.
That's different
Yeah,
tones
because
and
like
pronunciation.
it's still like in Asia, some of the countries like you have the English as your secondary like languages, and your first languages is like still stiff to you, and like the secondary language you have to like learn.
Thank you, Ghosty. Thank you, Ghosty, for the input. Alright, so we're gonna be doing some preseason power rankings.
Pog you.
Oh shit.
Power
That
rankings,
segment,
baby.
that part of podcast right now. So Ghosty, if you please open the spreadsheet I have set up. Shout out to Ramet for letting me copy his portion of the spreadsheet because I'm a lazy ass.
Ramen beast.
Hold on.
So
let me
before
open.
we hop into it, while Ghosty is setting it up, let's talk about the 4 teams diving into this season.
This for Prem only, by the way.
Yeah, it's Prem only. So we have 1 player from each team here, I think, in this podcast.
2 if you can't go see.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna jump down the rosters. So for Team Xiao, we have Aisho Pocket Scout, Tommy Flank Scout, 26 Pocket Banana Roma, Corner on demo and TJ on medic. And for our new fan club, we have Dead Star on Pocket Scout, Tony on Flank Scout, Crooked on Pocket, Andre on Roamer, Lego on demo, and Mello on medic, aka Nina. So
yeah, What's the point? What's the point? I don't understand.
I don't know. Alright, the special is up nice. Alright, so these are the
Nice.
rosters. And can you make it like can you zoom in out, Ghosty?
I think that's like the
Yeah, these are the rosters. So we have to. So before we move on to the class power rankings, if we have time for that, we're gonna do some team predictions. We're gonna predict the seeding. So if you could start, I think. Yeah.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you can start with you. I think. Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna do
shit.
personal
Alright,
predictions.
alright.
Oh,
Hey,
dude,
let's get it.
logical predictions or emotional predictions? Which one do you want?
It's up
Go
to
with
you.
your heart.
You can
Go
stay
with
it,
your
bro.
heart.
Yeah, believe in your heart, bro.
Obviously, I want first, bro. No question, but we're
You
probably
should
gonna
prac-
get second.
But you need a lot of
yeah,
practice.
okay. If we could get proper practice times, cause right now, like apart from like me and Space, literally everyone else on the team has like very limited time on like to like scrim and stuff. So it's kind of hard to schedule scrims if like you really want to win.
Maybe if Smiley was
trust-
there.
Yeah, I mean, so like chances are we're gonna get second, and then Cells first. Personally, I think Anuj is gonna get third, cause the roads don't really seem that promising right now.
Oh no.
Also, they haven't been scrimming because of internal
again,
issues.
same with Ghost Island too.
That's right. So, do you have anything to add on to that, TJ, for your personal predictions?
So, honestly, right? If Ruee's team could win this season, I would want them to win as well. But 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 logically, I don't think that would happen unless like magically, you guys manage to get like people out of NS. Like you send like a letter to the government and be like, yo, we need to win this season of AFC. Can you please let everyone out of the army for like 5 months? If that would happen, I would put you guys at first. But since that's probably not gonna happen, I think it has to be Xiao first.
Another
Sorry.
Cell win.
Yeah.
Cell win.
And then obviously it's gonna be Ruee's team. And now third and fourth is like kind of interesting. Is it okay if I talk about like the
That's
classes?
the point. Yeah, that's
now?
Can,
Okay. So I think first place and second place, it's kind of it's self-explanatory, right? But as for Rhodes Island and Anuj fan club, I think Rhodes Island, they have top tier soldiers. Right? Like Neva and Alteria are probably like their win condition for that team.
Alright, yeah, I think I agree with that actually. I think in terms of Rhodes and Anuj, Rhodes have the better soldiers, but I think Anuj have the better scouts.
I completely agree with you. That was exactly what I was gonna say. And now as for like demo, that's kind of like the interesting part, right? Who's like the better demo between Ghosty and Lego? Is it the King of India? Or is it the King of Vietnam?
We'll be going to that later. To the
Yeah, we'll do that
the
later.
things for now.
Okay, so I think because of like the things that I've stated just now, I think because scouts are the most overpowered class. Well, they're not overpowered, but they're the most powerful class in the game right now. I have to put Anuj at third as well, and I'll have to put Rhodes Island on fourth. And obviously, things could change if Rhodes Island starts scrimming more, and if Anuj they start scrimming less, or their results aren't as good. But I think for now, that's what I think.
Yes, this will be. I think this audio clip will be the precedent for some videos. Future. I think.
Do we have to ask the King of India now?
Yeah, King of India. Bro.
Okay, with that, what you think?
What you got, baby?
Oh, hello. I was talking to someone, sorry.
Alright, what's your opinions?
So, first is of course Xiao.
Ah man.
Alright, so. Okay, second is kind of interesting, right? Because Ruee's team, they're like having trouble finding scrims since their players have like busy schedules. So like they like seem beatable for Anuj, since Anuj is like the only team that's like scrimming consistently right now.
True.
So like second, I don't know. It's looking like a close call between like Ruee's team and like Anuj fan club. And then like third, okay, yeah, like I don't know. And
I mean, you already said who's fourth, dude. You already said who's fourth.
yeah, I don't know. Roads, I don't know. They're having so many issues right now that it's very hard for me to say where they will be when the season starts. I mean, by the time like the season ends, that's what I meant. They're having like a lot of issues, which add up to like, which might like add up like so much that it's actually like pulling the team back so much. But if they can overcome them, I think they can they can like get a respectable placing in the season.
Okay.
You know, it's
Yeah.
preseason ranking, so
Preseason, yeah.
you gotta do what you gotta do. Fill it up, like go.
All right.
Get up, leg up, yeah.
I'm just gonna fill out the first two. Don't mind the typos. I think these two are predetermined, but it seems like everyone has the same kind of rankings in mind. Like, it's not that I don't have faith in Rhodes, it's just there's like these special servers coming up which really gives such an advantage to Indian players, which is
Oh no.
what Anuj fan club consists of. And I think like for the soldiers of Rhodes Island, they really have to get through this ping disadvantage or like this setback.
And plus too,
To really
Reminder
flourish.
this, so Anuj and Rose Island have two Vietnamese.
So it's really like
Like
What? Oh, Dead Star.
Dead Star is in Anuj and me
Yeah.
on Rose Island. And plus, for most of us Vietnam play in India, always have AD ping. So
I legitimately can't decide which teams are going to win, but I would say I'm gonna have more faith in myself, so I would say Anuj is gonna get 4th place. Are you listening, Anuj? Alright.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess we can move on to class-based rankings now. So we're gonna be doing a tier list for this.
Now this is spicy.
This is very
Oh,
spicy.
Boy.
So we have 3 ranks: S+, S, and A.
So I'm gonna
Just-
we're gonna put
yeah,
a top
so-
3. of each.
Yeah. I guess we can have multiple. I think. So let's start with Pocket Scouts.
I
Anyone?
mean, obvious.
Yeah.
Just fill it up, dude. Just
Yeah,
fill it up.
just fill it up.
Just fill it up.
All right. Let's start filling it up. I guess. So I'm just gonna start out with Aish. So I don't know. Is there anyone else? What do you think
By the
about
way,
your
So
scout this
CZ
season, TJ?
I saw CZ, Anusha, and
Okay.
who isn't?
But it can be
Oh,
multiple
Ruee.
players, right?
Yeah.
Dude, then wouldn't it just be like I show me then Ruee?
I think
No,
they're
no.
putting mains though.
By
Oh,
main,
put
I
it
mean
as
like
main.
In the roster.
yeah, in like the roster, the cards that they're
okay.
like playing in the season.
So guess you can fill it out.
M for me.
All right. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
put some.
like if,
M
if
for
they're all
Mel,
playing, then
dude.
alright, wait. So I should like undeniably the best pocket scout, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think like second best pocket scout, I think it has to be Ruee, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude, asking me that's kind of egotistical for me to answer the question, dude.
Yeah, but I
It's where
honestly
the
think
spice
it
comes
is.
in, bro. Yeah.
But okay, but I do want to say that I'm pretty sure that Didsa has better DM than Ruee. But Ruee has like an actual impact on his entire team, right? Like he
Ruee
can
can-
actually bring his team to victory. But
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
can
sure
call
if it's like
solo.
that.
Destar needs like someone supporting him. I
Yeah.
guess.
So I would have to put Ruee on second just because like he's not just like he's the main caller, he's the pocket scout, and you know he's the win condition. You know, if Ruee pops off, then there's a chance that
Can
Ruee's
get
team
to
can win.
can get to fill out the list. Yeah. So
So second would be Ruee. But
Yeah.
what about third? Now that's spicy.
mm,
I'm actually kind of
Oh,
torn between third. I can't give an answer.
yeah, it's
But,
too unclear. I would mention like two players in general, like Dead Star and
I mean,
actually
you only have two options. You only have Dead already.
yeah.
I
would
can't say who's better, dude. I think
Yeah, I can't say it was better, but I'd say if Stazzy had the chance to commit, like actually have free time, I would say he can step on and be better.
Yeah,
I
I think
know.
that's a thing too. Yeah.
There's no offense, but this is so spicy, man.
Actual spice.
Okay, Flying Scout. Now, who would be the better scout?
I think space.
I think it's space as well,
Space,
honestly.
yeah, Space. I would say Space. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like
I
the
think Tommy's
general
just way too
consensus.
rusty, dude. He doesn't play the game.
Yeah, Tommy literally does not play
Tommy,
the
yeah,
game.
Tommy's really rusty.
I mean, like if you're talking about like actual like peak, then I think it would be Tommy. But as of right now, it would be like space. Then I honestly think spicy take. I think Tony is the second best scout in Div 1.
Okay.
Tony, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you forgot to add Destar in the list.
Wait. Nah. You only reward the top 3.
Hmm.
Okay, here's a question here. Who will be the third? Mance? Tommy.
I don't know. I personally, I still think Tommy's second. But
That's the thing, man. Doesn't play the game either.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
have to put Tommy on. I have to put Tommy. Yeah, Tommy has to be there, man.
This is a message for encouragement, man. You gotta prove these people wrong.
Yeah, especially since there's some juice coming after this.
Okay, here's
I'm
interesting
not gonna
thought.
touch these two rankings.
The soldier. Who the best pocket? Who's the best pocket here?
Itachi, I think, right now.
I honestly still
know.
think it's 26.
I also still think it's 26 as well.
26, yeah, 26.
Like I've played against him. Like he does shit that other pockets don't do.
Do you eat?
He helps a lot. But I was like playing a mix with him, and then like I never like felt alone. I didn't even ask for help, and then he would just come help.
Yeah, 26 is a very like team-oriented player. He's always there when you need him. 26 is just like such a solid pocket. It's hard to not put him at first.
Interesting.
But Itachi just like does so much though. He drops like a 30 bomb or like at least like 20 plus frags every game. And he doesn't even like take that much use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I guess you could put both in S plus if you want, but
I think it's
Sure.
deserving.
Nah, I think let's just keep it to 1.
alright, let's
No,
just
it's
put
pretty
it
close
on.
between them, yeah.
okay, who you guys
it's-
think gonna be the second? I would say it's Itachi.
But yeah, it's already a touch, I think.
I don't know. I have a feeling that Neva's better than Itachi. Not gonna lie, but it's not really just because of the DM, but it's also because of how vocal Neva is as a person.
And
Like I feel like he does give his team quite a lot of direction as a player, and I feel like that's like very valuable to a team. But I guess I could be wrong here, so I guess we should just like go by votes, right?
The X Factor.
Let's go like by vote. Ruee, who did you vote? Itachi or
Itachi.
Itachi? Okay. Henry?
Never.
Never. Okay. Ty? TJ?
Neva, man.
Okay. Never on 2. There you go.
It's up to you, man.
If you want
I'm
to
gonna
tie the
get-
vote.
I'm gonna get penaltied by Anuj for this, but I'm gonna have to vote Neighbor. I'm gonna have to vote Neighbor.
It's fine. I mean, it's fine.
I would say Itachi would be pretty good if he was active. I
True.
guess.
True.
So next one
Solving
is
right
gonna
now.
be Itachi, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Crooked is that good on Pocket, but I guess that's also a ping issue. I feel like Crooked
Yeah.
is like a much better scout than he is Pocket.
Okay. Interesting here. Romer, banana, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's hard to say not banana. Actually, nah, banana's like F tier, man. Can we just leave banana out of the list of the memes?
Yeah, just put Smiley on S plus, dude.
Yeah,
It's right there. Just Smiley S plus.
I agree. Smiley
Like
festival.
this. Okay, to be honest though, like who's will be the best roamer?
Smiley.
Smiley!
Dude, we have to
Okay.
put Smiley on first, man.
Lot of respect.
Okay.
Lot of respect.
Okay, so we really like let's back to the topic. Who do you think like the best roamer? Like currently.
Like second best?
Second.
the but
It has to be
right now,
Bernardo.
the best.
I think
yeah.
it has to be. I think it has to be Hong.
Mechanically, Hong is better, I think.
Hong,
second?
man.
A second?
Yeah, Hong second. There's no way. Alright. And on third, right? It's Sun, bro.
Sun doesn't. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Then it's Andre, man. It has to be Andre.
Sun doesn't talk much. That's like
True.
a big problem.
That is a very big problem. I guess it would have to be Andre. But I feel like Andre has a feeding issue. Not gonna lie.
I don't. Okay, yeah.
I
One thing I
think-
noticed.
I
right?
mean, yeah, he does have a comms problem, but I still think it's still his mechanical, like individual skills, like outperforms Andre to the point that I don't think even with comms that
I guess
you
that's
can
like
really, you can't really put Sun below. I mean, that's my opinion, but
that's an interesting take. But
mean,
don't
yeah.
you But don't you think your team would be better if you had a more vocal player on flank? Like overall, like how
I
would
mean,
it work?
okay, if my team had a more vocal player on flank,
Calm.
yeah, sure, it'll be better. but if it's like someone that isn't individually skilled, I don't think it'll be better. You know.
I don't know.
Like,
Andre
sure,
also
they
has,
must be good at comms, but they also must be good at the game. You know. You
Yeah, yeah.
get what I feel.
Andre.
I guess that's true.
Andre also has like the same thing like he's like 26, right? Like I like don't even like ask for help and he's there to help. He has like
So
that
that's
that
I
part
would
going
of
for
say
him.
like Andre would be more than a pocket, more than the roam.
Yeah, but like
Okay.
even it doesn't like matter, right? Like if you need help, like anyone can help, man. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're pocket roam, I think. But
Yeah.
this is probably the most spiciest class take.
damn,
Okay,
Banana's
this,
not even
this
the
thing here,
I
this
went
class
banana.
here, up my hand off the fucking charge. My
We'll
hand
put a
is
new
off,
tier for
off the
banana.
fucking charge.
Wait, are we actually doing demo now?
Yeah.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah, my hand is off the
No.
charge.
Demo man in
My
the
hand is
channel.
off the charge. Yeah.
Alright, you guys decide. We're gonna be based.
Have to be bait. Alright. Number one demo, I think it's a 9. He has like decent
Oh.
ping.
Decent ping.
And he has like a $200 mousepad. Like that speaks for itself.
Ruee, what do you think? You kind of have to weigh in on this.
What on tonight?
Yeah, like best demo in Asia right now.
And unfortunately, yes, he is the unfortunate. He is
Shit.
the best demo man. Opinion.
How come he's not in shot? Wait. Hold up. Alright. We're going a bit too deep here.
Yeah, I would say Sir9's probably the best demo in Asia right now. But I think if I were to go back on the demo man class,
I mean,
would
that's
be the
pretty
best
obvious,
demo in
but
Asia.
like right now we're
Sorry.
talking about like those. who are playing the
I
roles
just
right
have to
now.
put it out there, man. I love playing the demon class. And I think second has to be Konma, not gonna lie. Konma has been kind of in a slump recently. I feel like everyone can agree on that.
But everyone has like their low points, right? I mean, eventually you're gonna have some low points.
Yeah, eventually Konma's gonna, get back up to form and stuff, right? So I feel like Konma has to be second. Because like the thing is like he's been playing with Xiao a lot, right? And as Xiao, like the team environment is completely different to any other team that he might merc for or whatever. So I feel like Konma is probably second.
Okay.
But I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah. Bit controversial, but I think Koma is a better medic than a demo.
Oh.
I think a lot of people might share that opinion with you.
Oh shit.
It's a bit, I mean, it's like understandable, right? Because he's played medic for Xiao before and he's won on that class, so
True.
I don't know, in my eyes, like all the other demos are like tied. I can't really say who's.
Yeah, the demos are pretty close, honestly. Just because it's such a volatile class.
Yeah, I can't say who's better if I compare like Ghosty and Lego. I think Ghosty has like the X factor kind of thing going on, right? Like if Ghosty pops off, which he does sometimes, it's kind of it's kind of epic for his team. But I do think that sometimes Ghosty has this tendency to feed.
I mean, that's my mind. What I say here is, what the fuck? I'm not.
It's just the ups and downs of his playstyle, dude. So I guess that's a list for them all.
Yeah, I don't know who's to put on third though, but yeah, we can move on. I guess.
Just
if you
put
want.
both, bro. Just put both.
Ah man.
Let's share the couch, Ghosty.
I mean, if only Lego had like 50 ping, then like it would be more comparable, you know.
Chennai,
Definitely,
baby.
dude. I think Chennai is the X factor. So for the medic, okay.
Now this is spicy.
Oh my god.
TJ. Let's put TJ on top. Yeah.
Okay, wait. It depends on what would you think? Like, okay, it depends, right? If you're talking about like pure mechanics, right? Like just like literally just pure mechanics, I think Killed might be slightly better than me.
Yeah,
But-
Nicole is
But you, there's a
Dude, okay.
Justin, yeah,
if this shit happened like before he went to NS, I 100% agree. But ever since he went to NS, he's been kind of rusty, which is like expected.
Oh, dude, so I'm the best man? No way.
I don't know, maybe he'll be good. I don't know. It's been a while.
I would say like Justin. I would still like he still have the X factor, but
I mean, he isn't really an X factor. He's like set in stone how good he is. It's like consistency.
So is it Justin or TJ?
I don't know, bro.
really
I don't know. I
hard.
feel like I feel like I bring a lot of like good calls to actually like
Yeah, the calls
the
are I
team.
think the X factor. I think Justin would be better if he was.
Like
I'm-
overall, it should be like if you count calls and everything, then it should be TJ.
Yeah. So that's the first S plus medic. I have
Oh, sorry.
so I think if Melo has the drive to improve, I think she can become S tier medic. But
Is this you simping or is this you being real?
it's me being real, but
both.
it depends on what Anuj is gonna pull off this season out of his ass. Like I remember when Anuj, I played with a team with Anuj. She had like the most effective pep talk, and I think if Melo gets that pep talk, or like she has a change in mentality, I think she can play high level no problem. She has the
Yeah.
mechanic.
I believe in Melo's like potential, but I don't think she's the second best medic right now.
Definitely, it's a future thing. So
It's a future thing. Yeah.
right now, I think
I mean, personally for me, it's probably killed them Sua.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
I
agree.
agree.
So it's Kill and Sua. So wait, so Dude. I don't want to do this ever again. Dude. This is so spicy.
I mean, it wasn't really that spicy.
Yeah, but it was so painful.
Yeah, man. Banana got fourth. Feels bad.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad,
And
man.
JW.
Smiley's always first in our minds, man. He'll be first.
Smiley can't not be first.
I guess everything will change when Redactor plays next season. So this
Oh,
season
boy.
when he pulls out the big guns.
I think like when the league start, like everyone gotta know what is the X factor is. I
Damn.
think, like, who's,
What do you think are the X factors for each team?
So again, start from Xiao.
Yeah, aside from Cell.
I feel like 4 out of 6 of their players are already X Factors, just based on their cards alone.
The big one is Aisho though. He's just
Yeah.
like the best player in Asia right now.
Yeah.
That's
I think
the
it has to be Aisho, but I do think that Banana's kind of like the X factor, all things considered, because like Banana just does okay. Like in terms of like X factor, right? You have to think about a person that like breaks stalemates, right, and actually like creates openings for the team. I think Banana's kind of up there, even though he's not the best roamer in Asia, and Smiley is. But I think Banana's kind of the X factor.
Oh my god.
His
Yeah.
smile is like regenerating, bro. Like sleeping in the fucking sarcophagus.
The healing chamber, like in Dragon Ball, I guess. So for Ruee's team, everything are the X Factors.
Itachi? I think it's Itachi. Itachi and
Oh,
Space
Sanai.
actually. Itachi and
Sanai.
I
Space.
think it's
So I'm more of a
Space would
passive
be.
player in demo.
Sanayan, okay, Sanayan is like he's good, but he's not the X factor. Like he brings the calls to the table, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's like good at them and everything. But I don't think he's the X factor. I'm pretty sure it's just Space and Itachi. They're both like the X factors in that team. They just have like
Second
the
space.
insane DM and just like coordinate with the team very well. Just play together very well.
TJ thoughts?
Okay, if you ask me, right, I feel like the X Factor, you know, you have to take in like everything, right? It can't just be DM. And I feel like the only person that can actually like lead the team to victory is just Ruee, just because he's like pocket scout, right? And he has to like call and he has to coordinate the entire team because his team's not very vocal, right? So I feel like
yeah.
I feel like it has to be Ruee because he's kind of like that win condition in that sense. Because like without him, the team won't really go anywhere.
There won't be a win condition.
Oh no.
And like Rue's game is pretty good. It's just that he doesn't put himself in like those scenarios that iShow puts him in, right? So I think if Ruee could step up this season, I feel like Ruee would be the X factor. But I would have to like tie between Ruee and Itachi.
I feel like Space isn't really. He's more of like a backup plan. Like, cause every time I notice that if there are games where I just like miss shit, like Space is there to like to take it care for me, you know. Like he's like the backup plan, like the backup in case I do
backup
shit.
plan, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he won't go above than expected. Oh, this card is cringe. That's true.
Don't watch this clip.
If you have time,
That's a top tier clip right there.
it's a media share.
Happens.
Okay, so that's Rue's team. But what about the other teams?
About Anuj, the X Factor on Anuj. Is it Anuj or is it Tony?
Okay, I think the expected isn't Lego, dude.
B?
Yeah.
Dude,
Alright, how come?
didn't you go like? Did you get like a 7 kill streak in an official last season or something?
It was 9.
Barely-
It was 9.
A 9? Dude,
It was
The
9
thing-
after I finished downloading Left 4 Dead 2.
like the thing about to me when it comes to Lego, I think Lego's a very hit or miss demo. Where sometimes he can get like 220, but sometimes he can get like 340 or something.
yeah, it's a really up and down play. I feel. Just give this band like 50 ping and just roll everyone. Personally, I feel like Tony is also like a good X Factor.
Yeah, Tony
He
Sniper
just
is...
keeps leaking, you know.
Tony
Keeps
Sniper's
leaking like a
insane, dude.
shitty pipe.
Yeah, I feel like Tony's pretty up there. But I feel like, yeah, I guess it has to be Lego and Tony, right?
You know what? Both of them are. They both Indian.
Why did you counter Anush? Anush is Indian too.
He's playing pocket, man. He's playing the worst class in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing it at 70 ping.
Wait, he is?
He's...
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunate, but I think it's debatable on Chennai servers. So I think
Let's go to Rhodes.
Roads.
it's definitely
Honestly,
Ghosty, bro. It's
Definitely.
I think it's Henry, man. I think it's Henry. Hong M.
Maybe if Neymar was still on Roamer, he would be the X factor, but he's on Pocket now, so he can't, so he has to be like way more restrained than he was on Roamer.
I don't know. For me, it's Neighbor and Sua.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Wait,
kinda
Sue,
weird.
wait, a
Kinda weird
medic
that-
X Factor?
that I picked medic, cause like I feel
They're the only callers in that team.
yeah no like Sua's like Sua and Neighbor are like the main callers kind of. And the thing about Sua, I feel that he's kind of inconsistent in terms of his medic, where he sometimes just drops to the dumbest things, where he just shouldn't drop, or like he can just milk and get like shit done real fast, you know. And Neighbor is like he's probably the only other vocal player on that team, and like it also shows like on stats like he's probably like the best like damage dealer on the like damage class in his team. So.
Other than Ghosty, yeah.
I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
a
our
wrap
rank.
for the podcast.
That's our ranking.
It's our hot takes. Please don't cancel us. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Please don't remove me from the Steam fences. Thank you for watching. And
Next episode.
yeah.
Yes.
next episode, I guess, if you have any suggestions, just drop it or my
Just drop
Discord
it
or
on-
Christy's Discord. can comment on YouTube. So
Yeah,
we're always open to feedback.
always leave the feedback and leave a
We have
comment.
one last
Or you want
announcement, I think.
to have a special guest? Could be like the UGC admin or the Highlander admin. Or
Yep.
could be we might be able to get Fishy in here if we can.
Anyways, there's not much time left. It's already 10:10. Or some of these guys have scrims, so I'll just keep it. I'll just make it blunt.
So,
Indian servers are coming. That's it.
Indian server are coming to Quicks. Just to give everyone reminder that. So yeah. Everyone have anything to say about the stream?
So for any of our Indian players, can get to experience the best ping.
Lego Ruee,
Like
DJ, do you have anything to say?
Shoutouts.
I just want to say shout out to the boys. Shout out to Alteria for asking me to join the podcast, and shout out to my AsiaFortress team: Fane, Rocky, Shupa, Arnold, Deft, and also Lex because he mugged first, and Nimi. That's all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shoutouts
Well-
to Vice. That's all.
This is the end of our podcast. Thank you everyone for watching and hearing the podcast. See everyone next time. Peace out.
Peace out. Peace out.
Peace
Goodbye.
out.
Bye bye.
Correct. Got it.
Shout out, Rick.